All right, so today I'm going to be exposing Sadia Khan's current funnel, the simple funnel that she's using to make upwards of $300,000 per month. You should watch to the end because it's going to be important for you if you are someone who is a coach, consultant, info product owner or creator who wants to scale, or you're just getting started out and you want to learn how to monetize your expertise, especially if you are someone who is a dating creator, because obviously she is a dating creator. She helps men become more attractive. So we're going to be going through how she generates traffic through her virality, how it is that she goes viral, what style she's using that's working, and how she's using it to drive attention to her offer, how she captures qualified prospects and turns them into paying customers. So as you can see, she's mainly on, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and she's also on YouTube. All of her traffic pretty much comes from her short form content. She has a very viral podcast style. Everything she does is in podcast style, now that I think about it. We can actually go through her Instagram right here and see that every single one of these videos in her reels is basically podcast style, right? She makes certain types of takes of what she believes in, things she goes through, anecdotes, and these things blow up. They get millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views, and people love it, right? It speaks to them in their core, the specific desires they're having, the problems that they're having, right? And through all of this, she funnels them all to her YouTube, right? What does she do? She uses psychology, which is really what she talks about, and basically uses viral mindset attraction advice, as well as hot takes and opinions to allure people to her page, whether it's people that like her or hate her. Through doing this, they come to her page, they get to know more about her, they fall in love with her as a person, and they come to learn more, which leads them to the YouTube, right? This short form content style of dating, mindset, podcast clips, and live events is really the core foundation of her style of getting attention and how she and being able to bring people in to her snare, right? So let's go into her nurturing, right? On her YouTube, we can actually go through this together, right? She has just almost 1 million subs on YouTube. She gets tens of thousands of views per video. But if you look at these YouTube videos, everything is in this viral podcast style. It seems like everything she makes, it's pretty much in the podcast, because that's the style, that's the formula that works for her. Once you find the formula that works for yourself, all you do is just go all in on it. So she does it all in podcast style. And her video topics obviously go into how to attract the ideal partner, but the specific points that she knows goes viral, right, that she makes content about, they typically have this sort of nature where it goes into why this, why women do this, why this happens in your relationship, why you get this result, why you keep getting this result, and how to change it. How to, which is the second one, how to do this, how to get a gross, how to stop chasing, how to do blah, blah, blah. And then also just female nature. The general demystification of female nature. This is how she gets her audience of men to be able to come and build to like her as an authority and have their full trust in her, right? So how does she take this nurturing and make it into sales? How does she generate leads and sell them, right? She has a very simple lead generation method that is literally the simplest thing I've ever seen. All she has is a link in her, on Instagram, she has a link in her bio. On YouTube, she has a link in her bio. And it leads her to this landing page, which we're going to look through ourselves, right? Because so this is the landing page, right? Transforming relationship with the 3M method. The landing page is great. It goes through, explains exactly what people are going to get, everything that they would need. It's pretty much selling her, and it's selling her program, right? Shows results, has an FAQ. The only thing I would also add into this is a BSL. So, and at the end of this, she has a programs, which is, she has a standard and a VIP group coaching and coaching. One-on-one coaching, 9K, group coaching, 3K. One-on-one is limited to 10 spots, which means, let's say she keeps it at that. Max she's making is what? She's probably making 100,000 from that. Group coaching, that's pretty much unlimited in terms of the amount of people she can bring onto that, because it's group coaching. So now there is one other thing, right? She links to that in her YouTube, and she links to it also in her Instagram, but she also has a link to a video call with her in her Instagram, right? So you can actually book a video call with a paid call with her, which is for one-on-one hourly coaching, or you could do a voice call, or you could do couples coaching, right? She charges $450 per month. $450 per call for this, and how much for this? I don't even remember how much she charges to a group, right? But something I noticed is that she's actually priming up a wait list, right, for the coaching program, because you actually go through and try to click on it to buy. You can't really buy, or maybe it's my browser, who knows? But if she is doing this like waitlist, I mean, she's looking to launch something big soon, or at least a revamp of the program. So how would she take this to be able to customize it to the most, right? Because it's a very simple funnel and it works. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But how can she maximize this and this together to bring out the most amount of sales, right? What she can do is really take these calls that she's having, right? Take away the paid version, make them free. Have the link in bio lead to the landing page. At the landing page has the VSL and has the VSL and the link to the account link in it. And the people come on and hop on a free call. She's gonna have closers on here, she's going to have close on here, implements a sales system, right? Where she's going to be able to bring it, that's going to be dialed. She's going to have a dialer, right? Or an AI point setter, right? Trained on her business, everything. And she's going to have a closer, right? With this system that she can have installed, everything is going to be streamlined to where people are going to show up to these calls. They're going to already be pre-sold on her program. And then also they're also going to have enough trust to where they're just going to bring out the payment like pretty much like midway through call. She already has enough traffic and enough trust with the audience to make this happen. She just needs the system dialed in. So I'm going to briefly go through this system, right, that she would have, right? So let's say she'd have an opt-in, right, which she could use lead magnets, but in this case, it's going to be just a general opt-in from the landing page, right? So she's going to opt in. There's going to be an AI setter, goes through SMS, messages them. AI setter is going to be great because of all the leads that she's going to have. It's going to be so many that the AI setter will be able to keep up with them, have that speed to lead in under 5 minutes, and also speak to them in a way, they're not even going to know it's AI, really. And because it's going to be trained on her business, her style of speaking, and also the proven frameworks that get people to book on calls, right? So it's going to be basically a way to supercharge the system she already has, right? And then there's just going to be a human dialer who's going to call them in under 10 minutes, right? If they're watching the DSL, under 5 minutes if she decides to leave out the DSL. Beat the lead is going to be everything, right? And then the setter and dialer are going to make sure the lead's qualified, engaged. They're going to validate their goals, right? Make sure that they establish some sort of logical, emotional, and urgent appeal to that goal, right? To make sure that they don't waste our time when they hop on the calls. Right? So when they offer these assistants and they book them on the call, right? There's going to be a pre-call sequence that's going to be sprouting them with a bunch of social proof, a bunch of testimonials, giving them reminders to make sure that they show to the call, actually make sure that they have a reason to show up to the call. We're going to be making sure the whole time to disqualifying them if they're a bad fit when they hop on the call. We're going to have sequences for every single scenario to come through, whether they close, don't close, or no show, right? To either make sure that they get onboarded into the program correctly, make sure that they hop to the call, back onto the call, come back to close, or even get down solo if they no close or no show. And this whole time, we're going to have some sort of tracking sheet on either Google Sheets or Airtable to make sure that we track metrics as where the leads are coming from, whether it's ads or it's organic, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, whether it's Twitter, whether they're qualified, these leads are engaged, whether they book, they don't book, what's their pipeline value, what are the objections they have, so we can make sure the sales process keeps getting better over time. And then also some sort of lead scoring system so we can have an overall view of the quality of our leads. And then for tracking metrics for sales calls, right, we're going to have the call source, what's the show up rate that we're having? Whether do they close, do they not close? Well, how much revenue did we generate? And what are the objections that these people are bringing to us that this sales system have? If she installs this sales system, right, she can easily double her business. It's really, in terms of if you have the framework, it's just one simple change you can make that would literally make you so much money, right? So for her, I think it would be great for her to have this. But in terms of everything else, her system is very simple. You can see there's not really much on here that she would need, right? And that's pretty much just exposing everything. Pull back the curtains, everything. You watched me go through everything. You went through everything with me. And that's pretty much how she makes her money and what she can do to make it better. So you yourself as a coach or consultant, right? Let's say you want to scale. If you want to work with me to basically install a system that allows you to do the same, right, for yourself, utilizing proven frameworks and also AI systems, you can check the description. That'll get you a way to contact me or send me a DM on Instagram. So yeah.